they managed the second half. Does that change your thinking, or how do you, as a forward pack, adapt to that challenge specifically?
It's not something that is vocally expressed, but as is most things with Steve, it's almost like he's prophesised this game's coming at this point. I remember being back in July in Verona, and we're talking about the fourth quarter of games, doing fitness then training, almost preparing us for times like this. Making changes in between sets and whatever. So it's something that we've prepared for in that regard. And we know that test matches, for 60 minutes are normally nip and tuck. They're normally pretty closely matched, and it's almost now down to that last 20, and that's not lost on us. We've got such a wealth of experience in our team, both in the pack and in the back. So they're always very good at steering us through, and all we've got to do is listen and do our job.
And I guess with the changes that have been made to the pack, and you look at the bench, the forwards you have on the bench, you could, I suppose, I don't know, maybe you see that as something to draw confidence on in terms of the physicality of those guys that can come on and maybe be your own version of a bomb squad.
Well, I think you're 100% right in terms of some of the guys that are coming off the bench. Some of those players have played in some of the biggest tournaments, biggest games in the world. So we're excited to see how they go. We're excited to see how we go starting the game off, and hopefully we're in a position where they come on and just get us over the line. So that's the most important thing. It's the thing we've spoken about. It's now down to winning. It doesn't matter how you play. We obviously want to play our best, but we've got to try and win the game. And like I said, we've shown different ways of doing that over the last couple of months. So hopefully that bears well for the tournament.
Hey Joe, Will here. Can you tell us what you were doing 4 years ago at this point? Did you watch that New Zealand game?
Obviously I didn't make the squad. I played 3 of the 4 warm-up games, and I was obviously gutted not to be involved, but I've obviously watched it, and I was just so happy that we got through to the final. Hopefully this weekend we can do the same.
Can you talk to us a bit about that journey of not making the squad last time, being disappointed, and maybe some detail about what you did back at Quins to get yourself back in the position you are in now?
Yeah, I think it was more about just finding the best of myself and working out how I can put my best bits into the game, trying to get myself into the game more, and impose more threats really. And over this last 4 years, I feel like at Quins and in an England jersey, I've done it a little bit more, and now I feel really good at the moment. I'm loving this tournament so far. I'm loving being involved as much as I have been, and just really excited for Saturday.
Who would you credit, I don't know, coaches or people around you with that journey that you've been on, and someone that's helped you or talk about the game or add things on the field?
I think there's loads of people that I could credit. Obviously, I've had a fair few coaches in that time. My family, my friends, but more importantly, it's the lads on the pitch, the ones you're playing with week in, week out, the ones who are seeing every part of your game. They're seeing you when you're at your best, seeing you when you're at your worst, and that could be at training or on the field. Just trying to take everything from everyone around you and get the best out of yourself. Yeah.
Can I ask too about that short stint you had in Auckland as well, down in New Zealand, and maybe what that added to you and what you took from that into these massive games?
Yeah, I loved that experience. It was only short, but I felt like I got a lot out of it. I think the big things were really to see the game a little bit differently, to see where the space is, and to get yourself in the space and try and get the ball there. Really, that was the main thing. There's obviously a lot of skillful back rowers in New Zealand that I played alongside, and now in this England mix there's a fair few skillful back rowers, this lad included, who are all amazing and able to get the ball to you. So I think that would probably be the big thing I took, and hopefully been bringing it into here.
Is there something maybe in the Kiwis' attacking mindset that spoke to you maybe, and you could see the way they approach these massive games and thought that there may be different ways to do it than you would have if you just stayed at Queen's the whole time, you would have maybe only thought one way, perhaps?
Yeah, it was definitely a different narrative. They play a lot, or at Queen's we obviously play a lot as well, but yeah, they just, if it's on, they go. And they've got some amazing athletes out there, they've got some amazing talents, and they just back the skills. I think the one-on-ones from players being able to take people on and beat them is such a huge thing out there. There seems to be a lot of space in Super Rugby as well, so bringing that back in when the game gets a bit looser and being able to take people on is a huge thing from that.
Yeah. Ben, you said you watched the quarter-final of France, South Africa. What did you think about this massive game? And did you learn something new about the South African players, the South African rugby, and maybe about the referee who played a big role for the French fans?
Firstly, what a contest. I think everyone who watched it was appreciative of the physicality, the intensity. I think I saw someone write that was one of the best games of rugby they'd ever seen.
Yeah, we're absolutely buzzing. See, it's been an exciting week. The quarter-final was huge for us, and yeah, we're all really looking forward to it.
Ben?
Yeah, I echo that. Like you said, we've got a big challenge ahead of us, but we've done what we've come here to do so far. So, like you say, 1 win away from the final, 2 wins away from taking the trophy home. But first things first, massive game on Saturday night.
A lot of people are writing you off, but how's belief within the camp?
Belief is good. We're buoyed by where our game's at. Again, we know how good the opposition we have on the weekend, and we're hoping it's going to be a fantastic game where both sides bring their best and see who comes out on top.
Do you personally feel you're playing some of your best rugby of your career right now?
Certainly the most enjoyable time of my career. Yeah, really grateful for everything that's happened for me so far this campaign. Not taking it for granted, and I think what's been most enjoyable for me is playing with people that I've not had the pleasure of playing a huge amount with. Joe being one of them, and having played against a lot of these guys a lot over the last couple of years, to play with them, it's a nice privilege to have.
Coming up against a pack like the Springbok pack, how much do you relish the physicality, the challenge ahead?
Well, it's what being in the World Cup's about, isn't it? You've got to play the best teams to win the trophy. We want to play the best teams. We want to test ourselves against the best, and yeah, like you say, as a forward, there's not many better. So yeah, we can't wait to come up against what is probably one of the best packs in the world. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
And have you talked this week about meeting them physically, toe to toe?
I think you in international rugby now, if you're not physically at it, you don't physically impose yourself, you're going to struggle to win a test match. So nothing changes in that regard. And you know, the occasion is one that is going to bring the best out of everyone. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that.
Joe, how are you feeling about the prospect of the two centres in front of you and what's about to come down your channel?
Yeah, obviously they're both big and athletic, and they're gonna be really physical. So for us, yeah, it's just about trying to stop them in their tracks. Really, we know that South Africa are one of the most physical teams in the world. So for us, yeah, it's just about constantly going up and meeting them, and hopefully get a win.
I know you guys weren't there, but has there been any talk about exacting revenge? It's a bit of a cliche, but settling the score from 4 years ago. Can some players use that as a motivation?
Not particularly, to be honest. It's like every game's different, every tournament's different. So for all of us, it's just about this next game. It's about you know, a fair few of us, it's our first time in the semi-final, first time at a World Cup. So we're obviously all looking forward to it. And for the boys that have been here before, it's about trying to win it. So yeah, we're all really excited, and yeah, just focusing on this game.
Ben, you were speaking last week and talking about how at points, if people were talking about a world sort of 15 kind of thing, then maybe there wouldn't be too many England players who had been floated for that sort of outside the group. But then the other day, Kev Sinfield was talking about you and your form and saying that he believes you would be in that conversation given how well you've played. From where you were to where you are, how proud of that are you, and how pleasing is it to sort of be having that sort of recognition?
In terms of my journey, yeah, it's kind of one I've not really had a chance to look back on. It's all happened quite quickly. It's not something, again, that I'll touch upon, that I've taken for granted. I've loved it. yeah, and now it seems like a long distant time away where you probably weren't getting that recognition. So yeah, just trying to appreciate wearing the rose every day, and I really do appreciate it. In terms of what Kev said, to come from someone like him is massive, and someone I have honestly so much respect for on and off the pitch. One of the best guys I've met, one of the best rugby minds I've met. So yeah, that's always nice to do.
How much has his influence, pervaded through the squad, and how influential has he just been for you guys in terms of that leadership and I suppose just inspiring everybody?
Yeah, well, I think the message from a coach is always heard slightly clearer if you know the coach can probably do it better than you can. So in terms of running and fighting through pain thresholds, barriers, he's shown he can do that, as a player and as a human being. So yeah, his message has been pretty consistent over the campaign, and I think our defence just seems to be getting a little bit better. And every game has posed different challenges, and again a different challenge this week probably to Fiji, but one that we're preparing really hard for. And defence at this point in the campaign now is as much mental as it is technical. We're a team that loves defending, and we're looking forward to Saturday.
And of course, it won't be lost on you that in your role at number 8, if you win selection ahead of Billy, someone who for so long has always been looked to kind of carry that physical threat and punch holes in the game line, those sorts of things, and obviously you've been doing that really well. But how ready for you are you for the challenge of doing that, obviously against this South Africa side who, on paper at least, are seen a certain way, obviously, aren't they, in terms of physicality?
Well, they're a big pack. That's not lost on us by any means. I guess every player is slightly different. I never compare myself to Billy, but I've learned a huge amount from Billy, having played with him both for club and country. But I'm just trying to do my own thing, be the player that I'm trying to be, and so far so good in certain aspects of the game. So yeah, it's something that I'll try and replicate, if not better, this weekend, and hopefully it helps the team get over the line.
And Joe, just on your partnership with Manu, obviously, how do you see that coming along and looking like it's bearing fruit now, and you feeling more sort of connected? And I suppose this weekend it needs to be sort of even, like you were saying, trying to stop those guys in their tracks, and on that side of things, you probably need to be more sort of aligned than ever, wouldn't you?
Yeah, our connection's been getting better and better, and it's just great to play with the man. Obviously, there's probably no one better to stop big units than him. So it's been a privilege to play alongside him, and hopefully this weekend we get the best out of each other.
And just one for both of you, that's okay. Obviously, South Africa are very clear about their sort of motivation and where they've been, and as defending champions and everything that comes with that. But you're not lacking for any of that either, are you? And I know, Ben, obviously you were talking the other day about there's no reason why you can't just go out there, whoever it was going to be, no reason not to go out there, leaving everything out there and very potentially take another step into the final next week. I mean, after everything that's happened in the tournament, it's time kind of just to, I suppose, understand it, but then almost forget it, isn't it? And just produce the very best rugby that you can.
Well, exactly. I think there's there's always a narrative through the group stages. I always think there's a narrative, kind of in those early knockout stages. Almost feel like it's a new chapter once you get to the semis and the finals. It is purely about who turns up on the day. You both start 0-0. No one's got points on the board in terms of tables and stuff. So, like I said, it's a bit of a roll of the dice, and all we can do is bring the best of ourselves psychologically and physically. And the coaches have been brilliant in terms of how they managed us this week. You saw the elation of the quarterfinals, and of course we're ecstatic to be where we are, but this is another step, and we're fully prepared for that.
Ben, you clearly respect South Africa. Is it important not to show them too much respect and that you impose yourselves and not be in awe of what's in front of you?
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. I think they're world champions for a reason. They've played, they're Lions champions for a reason. But we're our own team. We're a team that, although it's been, you kind of feel that we've been through the mill a little bit over the last couple of months. We're the kind of team that doesn't hold too much baggage. We feel like we're a new team. We feel like we're only really at the beginning of our journey. And I guess it's we're not really carrying too much of a burden. We're going to try and play our best rugby. We're going to try and be at our best. And as I've just said there, that's all we can do. in terms of respect, we've got a huge amount of respect for them. They are honestly some of the players I've watched. I've been watching highlights from when I was 12. Some of those guys, certainly in the pack. So yeah, I've got a huge amount of respect for them. But the only way we can respect them is by bringing our best, and that's what we've been speaking about all week. How we've been preparing ourselves all.
And what do you make of their back row? They've got 3 pretty established players there who started the 2019 final.
Yeah, all very good players. You know, some of the best players in the world. Very different players, all posing very different challenges. So I'm just excited about testing myself against some of the best in the world. People that have played against them say that they're fantastic to play against, and yeah, I can't wait to test myself against those. And obviously, whoever comes off the bench, they've got such a wealth of talent and experience in that area. So yeah, I'm buzzing.
Joe, I know all this is new to you. I just wonder how much the scar tissue of 2019 has been part of this week, how much you're aware of it, being somebody in the squad this time around.
I alluded to earlier a little bit. It's it hasn't really played too much of a role. It's see, this is a different group. This is a different journey, and we're in the semi-finals. And yeah, we're just all excited to be here. We're looking forward to obviously taking it to them, and yeah, just start a fresh chapter. So yeah, for us, we're all buzzing for it. There's not too much laying on from them. So yeah.
And Ben, do you think in terms of stones or kilograms?
Kilograms nowadays.
So you're giving away 18 kilograms to Dwayne for Muirland this weekend. How does a really good little one beat a really good big one?
That's a good question. Oh, I wasn't ready for that. Oh no, he from everyone who's played against him, and I haven't had the privilege. Says he's one of the smartest players as well as one of the biggest. So to play against someone like him is going to be brilliant. I've got to bring the best of myself. I've got to play to my strengths. He's going to play to his, and you know, I really enjoy and relish that battle if I get the chance. So we in the league, in the international rugby, we play against some big teams, some big players all the time. So it's not something that I'm massively not used to. But like I said, it's a World Cup semi-final. It's a new level. So you've got to bring the best, sink or swim at this point, isn't it? So that's how I swim.
I know this might seem a silly question, but do we think about that kind of thing more than you do? Does your game not change depending on whoever you're playing against?
Well, I think it comes into thinking in terms of certain bits, but you know, one man's strength may be another man's weakness. So I don't know a huge amount about Dwayne in terms of that regard. I know what I can do. I know what I'm trying to get out the weekend. In terms of my personal performance and what I can give the team. So, like I said, the biggest respect we can give these guys is playing our best and seeing where that gets us after 80 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi Ben. I think Steve's talked during this tournament about the